that's how it started for me, because then I was like, I'll just start the Avondale Advantage, and that's the website that you saw. That's more of a passion business as opposed to what I'm able to actually really do. It's been one of the things I was like, okay, I have to go back and give to this because this is what got me started.
Yeah.
And actually, I started speaking every week. People would let me use their buildings. There's footage somewhere on YouTube about it. But it got to the point to where it was like, okay, Eric Thomas started his own speaking school, and I went into that. And so I went all into that, was flying to Michigan,
That's
driving
cool.
to Texas.
That's cool that you chased that and pursued it. Saw the opportunity and just ran with it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, jiu-jitsu was probably the thing that made that tangible for me. Have you ever done martial art before?
I have.
Okay, so I would tell everybody in the room to go do jiu-jitsu. It is probably the only martial art you can go 100%, and it's probably been the only tangible one to where I feel like I could walk down the street and it's whatever. If you're not trained, like, we're good. Like, I know I'm good. I can protect myself. And so I always had a fear of confrontation.
Okay.
In jiu-jitsu, it's constant confrontation. There's no...
You're literally walking into confrontation.
Yeah. And so getting choked out by a 15-year-old when you're 32 is like, when you're growing up, like, the older person should win. So after that, I was just like, there's nothing like else to be afraid of. And then all I've done is just tack on to that. Got trained as much as I could with Eric Thomas. And then in 2017, September was the last month that I worked at a medical clinic.
Nice. Okay, so this is all happening. I mean, this isn't like 6 years. Like, this is recent.
No, this is recent. This is very, like, that's why when people reach out to me and they're like, come do this. And I was like, there's a part of me that was like, are you ready for this? Or is this a part of like, no, this is what you signed up for.
Yeah.
Like, this is, because be honest with you, when I first started, I still do it every day. Like, my process, I go to the gym, box, do a little jiu-jitsu, and then I go to Starbucks and I work on everything that I'm working on.
Nice.
And so when I quit my job, I gave my 30-day notice. I had no process. Remember I told you I love process? I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that I had to get up, find a place to work, reach out to everybody, and then just keep doing that every single day and do measurement. Like, how many people hit you back up? Like, and still being connected with Eric Thomas and the networking thing. What ended up happening is because I was able to edit my own videos for my speaking. I found out that most public speakers, they don't like to edit their own video.
Yeah, I mean, it's I was so happy whenever he came on board because it's tedious. I mean, it's not like, I mean, you know what you like and what you don't like, and usually if you're, I don't know, I could see that it's a craft that you got to learn to love. Like, it takes a unique person to love the creative and editing.
I would tell you, I never knew that I was going to like it either, because I just told you I've been an 11-year medical assistant. I was studying psychology. I've done management. I've done public speaking, sitting down at the computer and going frame by frame on a video, just like it wasn't in there.
Yeah.
But what happened is, like I said, when you get into the environment of like, okay, now it's a different sort of survival. And so that's why I always tell people, if you're going to go do something, just quit your job altogether and do it the right way.
Yeah.
So you can go back, because I still have opportunities. I can touch on the medical assistant stuff that I still go back and help the high schoolers. I'm still trying to help them get extern sites. I'm still trying to coach them on how to get a job and how to get employment.
That's really
But there was always that base of like, I can always be a medical assistant. I can always go back and make $18 an hour, only have to work 40 hours a week, and then call it a day. But I always tell people, as soon as you mentally check out on whatever you're doing, just go ahead and quit.
Makes sense.
No matter what the finances look like. I've already had one car repossessed, but already working on paying off another one. So it's a weird dynamic. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you would have talked to me in like May of last year, it would have been like, oh, no, I'm not doing the podcast right now. But now you're talking to me now almost a year later. It's like, oh, yeah, we can talk about different things now. I was like, now it looks a little bit different. But I always tell people, the first thing you got to do is just quit. Yeah. And if you haven't quit, you have to figure out when that timeline is, because a lot of people will tell me what their plan is, but they never plan on leaving their job, which is really weird to me.
Yeah. It's tough mentally. And I mean, it sounds like it might have been easier for you, because I mean, it sounds like one, you just see a problem and you figure out how to fix it. I mean, it probably comes with the jujitsu and just the mental side of things. I mean, that is a big like leap of faith to say, hey, I got the secure thing that I'm always here to. I got no process. I got to figure out how to make a process that then allows for some income to come in that can help me live. And so I think a lot of it is the mental side, and it sounds like you've done a lot to you're just good on that side.
Well, I know naturally I'm not gonna lie, I'm lazy. And so how do I beat my own laziness? I have to put myself in a situation that forces me either to do the right thing or go back to what I was doing before, which was working.
Yeah.
I was like, do you want to go work or do you want to go do this new thing? And it was the jiu-jitsu, it was all of that, but a lot of it was once I quit, when you wake up and the pressure of, okay, because I still had that like get up at 7. All right, do I like put my scrubs on? Like I was so used, like there was like, what is this? And like even today, like this is be my normal outfit no matter what. Like,
no matter what you're doing.
They're like, there's a dress code for who? I was I don't. Oh, well then don't invite me to it because I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna wear my shorts. I'm gonna wear my t-shirt. I want to be comfortable. I was like, because I already did the stuffy thing. I did the suit thing. I did the button. I was like, I was always like this. Like I don't know what to do. And so, no, I would tell you. Even with everything that's happened, the quitting, once you, I don't even say quitting, but once you just say, okay, I'm leaving you guys, just in case this don't go right, I might be back. Just full disclosure, but I'm going to go on and give this 100% because then you look at it a little bit differently. And because with the jiu-jitsu, and I'll go back to that probably more than anything, there's what I thought should have happened. There's what I did during the match, and then there was the outcome. When I had a job, there's what I think. There's what I think what entrepreneurship looks like. There's what I think it's gonna go, and then there's actually what happened, and then the actual outcome. And so once I was able to repeat, okay, today I got up and I only called one person. That outcome was no good. Okay, cool. I got up and I called 4 people. Ooh, I got somebody to call me back. Okay, and then that was just a cascade effect.
I love that you do that because I mean it's preached all the time, and here just I mean it's reporting in a sense. It's looking at numbers and identifying what am I doing, what is the output, and then what does that give me, and then just optimizing what your output is based off of. I made 1 call. Hey, I didn't get a client. Well, let's see what happens when I do 10 calls. And then you start, kind of optimizing your day or your life based off of what you want to achieve, and then doing the things and seeing what leads you there, and then just kind of, changing your day-to-day based off of what's driving your goals.
Yeah, and I'll even tell you then, I didn't have any goals when I quit. I just knew that I couldn't do that anymore, and I knew I wanted to go in and just explore everything. It was almost like going back to college again, but this time it was, I know that I can survive anything that I want to get into. And so it was almost like being like, okay, well, I'm going to pick this and I'm going to pick this. And that was where I went back on all my experience. Okay, I went back and did public speaking. What can I do in public speaking? Okay, I know, shout out to Nikki. I know Nikki who works with Eric. I didn't imagine ever working for him at the time, but I knew I needed to create income. And that was the quickest way to do it was the video editing. And like, how do I charge? Didn't ask her for an opportunity, but how do I charge? And so then I had one hip hop artist out here that had me just start making content on a regular basis. He was paying me $500 a month. I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to keep the electric on. You know what I'm saying? And I only had my $200 college laptop that I had bought like 4 years before. And so that's when I learned about the graphics card is not up to date. But everything kept cascading from that. And I would say, now, the best way for me, the biggest thing was because I did go do the public speaking training, I created a free group where we all practice together.
Nice. And do you do that in person? Is it a virtual thing? Is it?
I think I've been in the room with these people maybe no more than 2 or 3 days at a time. And that's maybe 10 to 15 days out of the whole year.
Oh, wow.
Because we all live in different states. So Zoom, I would tell you Zoom, shout out to Zoom. But, having the ability to get on a Zoom call with 15 other people and we're all just repping our speeches. So not am I not am I only learning how to speak better and how to give my presentation better, I'm also hearing where they're struggling at. And then that turned into, Isaiah, are you still doing video editing? I go, well, yeah, I have to. Yeah. And then like, well, if I send you something, can you edit it for me? I was like, yeah. Yeah. You know, very like, because it's one thing to say, I like your work. Yeah. It's another thing that says, I'm going to give you $200 and I need you to send me something back and I'll determine if I like it or not. Yep. And that was the biggest fear for me was, as a medical assistant, if the patient was happy, that was the outcome. Mm-hmm. If the hamburger was cooked correctly, that was the outcome. I'm going to create this video, and they may or may not like it, and they may or may have me change it, and it may not even be the way I thought it was going to look. Yep. And so when I started doing all of that, and then going back and forth, I was able to get connected with 2 speakers, and I've been rocking with them ever since.